Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Tim Hart, branch manager of Van Dyke Mortgage here in Fort Myers, Florida. Coming to you, we have a lot of stuff going on with flood insurance, a lot of questions, a lot of changes, a lot of it not good. All right. And brought on my buddy, my pal, friend for a long, long time, the Galewskis. They sent in Connie Galewski from Avalon Insurance. Connie, how are you doing today?
Hey, Tim, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
You got it. You got it. Well, there's a lot of good insurance companies in town, and you always, you and your family do a great job, and we value our relationship. So I brought you on because we've got a lot of questions. I know consumers are going to have them, realtors are going to have them, I'm going to have them. A lot of changes have been happening, Connie, and a lot of it not good with the flood insurance starting October 1st of 2021. I almost forgot the year, literally. That's hilarious. Do you mind just filling everyone in real quick? What's happened as of October 1st?
Yes, so October 1st, FEMA has changed their rating structure from the 1.0 to the 2.0. So the way that we are rating policies right now is much different than we have in the past. Basically, it's being rated on your distance to water, to a body of water that could cause some damage, a water source, a flood source. The elevation certificate may or may not help. We used to base our rates on the house and the elevation of where the home sat, and you would get your rate according to how high up your home was from that base flood. So now it's basically the construction type. It's prior claims now have a factor, prior insurance, masonry or frame, as I said, construction type, and just the distance to a body of water. So every home is being individually rated.
Okay, so let's get into why this is important. And I'm going to use myself for an example here. Then we're going to get into, I want to go like, what should existing customers expect, new homeowners, things like that. But first, let's give an example, because you sent me two quotes probably about 30 minutes ago. I live in a flood zone. We have flood insurance. You sent me, well, it's going to be my quote when I go to renew. And it was like, what, $700 something a year?
Right. So right now, I don't remember the exact numbers, but right now you pay about 5 and change when it renews, which isn't even, it's in the 2.0 rating that I gave the quote. It's like 6 and change, but that was with having prior insurance with the NFIP.
Right. So like the way it was going $600 basically, having current NFIP insurance. Now let's act like I never had flood insurance and I'm buying the house from a person that's never had flood insurance. That quote is going from 600 to 700 to what?
7,000.
$7,000 a year.
Yes.
That's absolutely insane. And you guys, that's what's happening out there in the insurance world. There are some things that are going to be able to maybe help with that a little bit. And Connie is going to get into that, but I'm just kind of setting the table for you guys so you understand. And you're seeing this across the board on a lot of different properties, right? Kind of these 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700% increases, right?
Yes. And it's
I'm hearing from other people too.
Yeah, every quote that we're doing is different. It's so individually based now, the characteristics and the things we put in to get the rate, which is really in the software, we don't even really know. To be honest, we're putting in the information it's asking and it's giving us this rate. So yeah, it's a difficult market right now.
So in talking about this and talking about how broke I could go if I had to buy my house right now, what should current homeowners do that have flood insurance? What should they expect?
So there is an 18% sliding scale that it's going to go up per year, up to 18%, until you reach that amount that FEMA thinks it's going to cost to rebuild your home if you suffer a total loss.
So in my case, like I would pay 18% more every single year until I hit my $7,000 premium or whatever they make it be, right?
Correct. And not only that, there are regular rate revisions that come through every year too. FEMA's looked at, and you have your regular rate revisions, and then you have your up to your 18% gliding scale until you reach that point that they feel it's going to cost to rebuild your home.
Right. And so like this would be for anyone that's a current homeowner that has flood insurance. At minimum, would it be safe to say that anyone that has flood insurance in Florida right now is going to get an 18% increase?
Honestly, Tim, every case is so individual. I have not seen any go down. FEMA
Right.
is saying that it is a savings and it's a better way to rate the policies. I have not seen that. So it's so individual. It's hard to answer that question. It's a case by case basis, but I have only seen increases and they're heavily weighted. They're increasing a lot.
Yeah, they're bad, right? So now let's act like I'm a new home buyer, all right, and I'm out in the market and I'm looking for a home, and shocker, I want it to be on the water, right? We're in Southwest Florida, so you want to buy a home on the water. That equals your flood zone for the most part. What should a new homeowner or new home buyer be expecting in the current market with flood insurance?
So they will be coming into that 2.0 rating. And if the current seller has a flood policy, it is transferable to the new buyer. So that is so important. When you're looking at a home, if you're looking on the water, that policy can be assumed by the seller. If the buyer, the seller can assume it to the buyer if they have a policy in place and it's through the National Flood Insurance Program. That's a very important component because private flood is not considered prior coverage. They want it from the National Flood Insurance Program, but they can assume that policy and then they will, renew as they normally would on the policy's dates of the current policy holder. And then in April, when that policy comes up, they would be subject to the 2.0 and thereafter the rate increases and the 2.0, but it will be
The 18% increases we're talking about.
Right. It'll be gradual. It won't be.
Gotcha. So what has to happen here, like I'm gonna interject here real quick. If you're a listing agent or you're trying to sell your house and you're in a flood zone, you better make sure you have your flood policy ready and have the information available to be transferred to that new home buyer if they're going to need financing, because that's going to be a massive savings. Because Connie, what happens if I'm looking on the water and it's in the Cape Coral Yacht Club and the person's owned the house for 700 years and they don't pay flood insurance? I'm walking into that deal right now and I'm paying full price tag, right?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. That's the 2.0 rating. So there's no break. So really the golden ticket is what I like to call it, is a prior policy with the NFIP. That's going to save people new purchase.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're looking at a difference of, just use me for an example. If you came to buy my house right now, I'd be able to transfer my flood policy of $600 to $700 to you, and you get 18% increases for however many years it takes to get there.
Gradually.
Or I don't have flood insurance and you come to try to buy my house, it's a $7,000 bill. It's crazy.
Yes.
It's nuts. So, with that transfer though, from the new buyer that's coming in, if they have financing, they're going to have flood insurance. But with that transfer, they're still subject to the same 18% increases, right?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes. When they're taking that policy over, and for renewals, new business was October. We're seeing that now, but for the renewals, it's going to be April. So when it depends on the current homeowner's policy effective dates. When it hits the renewal mark, they're going to see the 2.0 rating and they will see the gradual increase.
Okay. So bottom line of this video here, if you're a homeowner trying to sell your house and you're in a flood zone, have your flood policy ready. So you can, if you're a new home buyer looking for a house in a flood zone, ask right up front, do they have a current NFIP policy? That way you can get the benefit of that discount. And if they don't have a current flood policy, you better price that into the equation when you're getting a home, because that's going to be a super expensive flood policy. Correct, Connie?
It is. And I just want to say, Tim, a little bit about the private market. Private flood insurance, again, that does not count as prior insurance with the NFIP, but they're becoming like homeowners insurance markets where you can shop it. They have different rates. We have a number of different private flood markets that we're using to quote to see what's better for them. But it is still an option, but it is so individual. I just want to stress that it's such an individual case. It's not the same anymore like it used to be. Elevation certificate, base flood, where's the house rated according to where it is in the neighborhood? It's not like that anymore. So it's just very individual. Every case is its own.
We're still going to need the elevation cert though, right?
So the elevation certificate may or may not help. We plug it in and try to use it. If we're able to use it, we will. If it doesn't help, we don't. So my hands are up in the air. I don't know until I do the quote, honestly. Because the rating.
And talking with you a lot about this, so things are constantly changing anyways, right?
Yes, daily.
Yeah.
Things change all the time. The rating factors that they're using is not what we've used for years. So.
Right. And from what I gather, and you don't have to answer this, Connie, this is me saying it, and talking to a lot of people in the insurance business, that a lot of this was done secretly. Like you know, a lot of y'all are kept in the dark on what the changes are, what's happening, and how to work around it and everything else. So it's some shady stuff too. I don't like it, Connie. And I know you can't maybe talk about it, but I can. And I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
Well, we had there's a company out there that was telling everyone to email the congressman about it, for the flood insurance. So if you feel so moved, notify your congressman, your state reps, all that stuff. And, make some noise. You agree with that, Connie?
I do. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, listen, that was depressing.
Well, thanks for having me, Tim.
Yeah, it's fun. But hey, listen, if you're listening right now, this is stuff you need to know. If you're in the market, we're late 2020 going fourth quarter, late 2021. This change is there. Like, don't be blindsided by it. You own a house, it's in a flood zone. You better get ready for increases. If you're trying to buy a house in a flood zone, make sure the seller has current flood policy. If they don't, be prepared to pay a good chunk of money for it. If you're fired up, email your congressman or congresswoman. Connie, if anyone has any questions on flood insurance or homeowners insurance, car insurance, all that stuff, how can they get in touch with you?
Give our office a call, 239-275-3888, or email me, Connie at Avalon-insurance.com. We'll be happy to help, educate, answer any questions, whatever we can do to assist you.
Cool. Well, hey, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you, Connie, as always. Yep. If I can help out, you guys, give me a shout anytime. Myself, my team, always here to help. 239-437-4278. Website, timhartjr.com. And if you need to be pre-approved to buy a home, we're here to help. If you want to refinance your current mortgage, we're here to help. All right. Reach out anytime. We are here to serve. Connie, thanks again. Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
Hey, Connie, have a great day. Okay, buddy.
You too.
See ya. Bye-bye.